Hey guys, it's Kevin, and this is the M2 Mac Mini, Apple's newest and most affordable Mac in 2023. So I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and I'm very surprised by how much I like it. Thanks to the new M2 chip, the Mac Mini is more powerful, more efficient, but for less money. Today I'll share my overall experience and go over why most people should buy this Mac. And this is my first time using a Mac desktop, so let's jump right into it. Okay, I'm going to start off with the price. The base model Mac Mini, the one I have here, starts at $599. Put it in context, you can purchase AirPods Max for $549 or an actual Mac desktop for $50 more. The Mac Mini is like a budget option for those looking to step into the Mac ecosystem, similar to the iPad 9th generation and iPhone SE. Also, if you're in college, you can get a student discount of $100, bringing this down to $499. It's basically a free Mac. I would have killed to use this when I was in school instead of the 2010 MacBook Air, but I'll save that for another video. There's a higher end model for more power, but that starts at $1,299. I'll link the Mac Mini in the description box below. Alright, performance on this is incredible. Again, I have the base model with an 8-core CPU, 10-core GPU, 8GB unified memory, and 256GB of storage. As soon as you start upgrading specs, that low magical price disappears. So think carefully on what and how you plan on using the Mac Mini. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been using this as my daily driver, and it's handled normal tasks flawlessly, browsing the web, replying to emails, watching 4K videos, and office work using Word and Excel. I even did some photo and video editing. In fact, this entire video was edited on this machine. I can scrub through 4K footage with ease, but there were times where it stuttered and lagged when adding effects and transitions. As long as you're patient and wait for effects to render, editing a full 4K video is doable. One thing to note is the slower SSD speeds. I didn't notice a difference from everyday activities, and I'm coming from a 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook Pro. The only time I really notice is when copying large files. I copied about 57GB of video files from a Samsung T7 to both Macs, and here's what I found. The MacBook took 1 minute and 17 seconds, while the Mac Mini took 5 minutes and 1 second. It's quite a difference, but unless you're copying large files daily, it won't affect everyday use. Either way, if you're a beginner content creator, the Mac Mini would be a great tool, especially at that low price point. So when Steve Jobs first introduced the Mac Mini, he said BYO DKM, bring your own display, keyboard, and mouse. So the beauty of this is that you can connect any display and accessories you want. I currently use it with an LG display, Logitech keyboard and mouse, and Magic Trackpad. But you can also connect it to an LG OLED TV and pair the Magic Mouse and Magic Keyboard to it. And all of this is possible thanks to the decent amount of ports on the back. Ethernet, 2 Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2.0, 2 USB-A, and a headphone jack. There's also a small exhaust for active cooling. The fans do spin constantly at 1700 RPMs, but it's so quiet that you won't even notice it. On the M2 Pro model, there are 2 additional Thunderbolt 4 ports and HDMI 2.1. You can upgrade to 10GB Ethernet regardless of the model. There's no SD card slot or ports on the front, but for $600, I'm not going to complain. The Mac Mini's design hasn't changed much, if at all, during the past decade. It's still a 7.7-inch square that's 1.4 inches tall and it weighs only 2.6 pounds. This is so small that I can hold it in one hand. I can even put it in my backpack. There's only one color, silver, and here it is compared to the 14-inch MacBook Pro in space gray. So unlike a traditional tower, this takes up a small amount of space on your desk. It's hard to believe there's an actual computer inside. And in Apple's effort to minimize its impact on the environment, the aluminum unibody design, plastic components, and packaging is made up of recycled materials. If there's one thing I don't like about the Mac Mini, it's definitely the speakers. It's okay for startup and alert sounds, but for everything else, you're better off with external speakers. Most of the time, I'll either use AirPods Pro 2 or AirPods Max. These make the built-in speakers on the LG display sound good. If you're a student or new to the Mac, then I highly recommend the Mac Mini. It's affordable and you have the option to swap out peripherals anytime you want. For schoolwork, office work, and the occasional photo and video editing, the base model is great. If you had to upgrade one spec, I'd bump up the unified memory to 16GB. It'll be better in the long run, and you can always use an external SSD for additional storage. Overall, if you already own an M1 Mac, the M2 isn't a must-have upgrade. But if you own an Intel Mac, you'll notice a boost in performance and efficiency. I'm still impressed at how a high-performance desktop fits in the small design at a low price. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I post new videos. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye!